What if I told you that I had the blueprint to your life? I mean, I don't have it personally. However, you have access to it. And you're not using it? Hello, angels. Welcome to the Venetian Edit, where I teach you different tips and tricks to elevate your confidence in your self-love journey. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the things necessary for beginners to start on their astrology journey. Let's begin with what astrology is. Astrology is the study of the solar system and how it affects the human experience. Astrology can be used plenty of ways, but in this particular video, we'll be talking about how you can use astrology as a tool for self-transformation and further understanding yourself. With knowledge of the planets and how they interact with one another in your specific chart, you can understand things like why you act the way that you do, why you think the way that you do, your preferred studying style. You can learn the reason behind your aspirations. There's so many things that you can discover once you actually fully absorb your chart and start to, drink around with it. I need you to get out pen, paper, open up your Notion template, your notes app, something. Because one thing about me, we're gonna get the information down. We're gonna do it fun. We're gonna have a good time. But we need to go ahead and we need to make sure that you actually are absorbing this information and you're taking it down right. I've worked very hard on this video. We're not going into this year without you understanding. I'm serious. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait. Okay, I have a short attention span, so we gotta, come on. Let's go. Astrology and astronomy actually were under the same definition for a long time. However, with more modern discoveries and the introduction of modern technology and psychology is when the two started to stray apart. Now, the practice of astrology is centuries old. The earliest recorded astrology studies actually date all the way back to 10,000 BC, y'all. Studied in various civilizations such as ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient Babylon. All the baddies was doing a birth chart. Okay, period. With this being said, astrology can be used in a slew of ways, okay? You can use astrology to predict future events, to connect with others. There's actually a branch of astrology that is related with the weather. I don't remember the exact name of the guy that uses astrology to predict hurricanes. This is serious business, y'all. We don't do the fun astrology, where we can learn about ourselves and stuff, but please do not play. This is real deal beeswax right here. Now let's get into the elements of a birth chart so you can be able to read your own like a pro. All that a birth chart is like a screenshot of the sky at the exact time and place that you were born. The chart is extremely unique and it's imperative that you have your correct birth time for ultimate accuracy, okay? Call your mama if you need to. And if you don't got access to that, go ahead, find your birth certificate. And if you don't have access to that, go ahead and get a copy from your local hospital, whatever it is, okay, girl? Because we need your birth time. Now, it's not impossible to do your birth chart without a birth time. However, like I said, for increased accuracy and for it to be completely unique and just to you, you're gonna need that time, sister. Thanks. Now, each natal chart has the following elements. We have signs, planets, houses, and aspects. However, if you don't have a birth time, houses are not gonna they're not gonna pop out. They're kind of reliant on the birth time. The Zodiac is made up of 12 astrological signs. Each sign corresponds with a different constellation in each constellation's respective fixed stars along the ecliptic. All the ecliptic is just the sun's apparent path across the sky. Starting with Aries and ending with Pisces, each sign accounts for 30 degrees in the full 360-degree circle that makes up the Zodiac. So with that being said, cusps do not exist. I will say it again. Cusps do not exist. One sign or the other. Astrology is far too mathematical for you to be in a cusp. Cusps don't exist. If you relate to a lot of the cusp rhetoric and the different things you see on the internet, it's likely that you just have personal placements in both of the signs that are neighboring one another. It's completely normal. What isn't normal is a cusp because they're not real. Now, signs can be grouped a couple of different ways. They can be grouped up by element or they can be grouped up by modality. Every single sign belongs to an element. You've probably heard this before. If you've ever heard someone say, I'm a fire sign, I'm an air sign, blah, blah, blah. Real Avatar stuff, I know. But yeah, so the 4 elements, fire, air, earth, and water, is what each of the signs belong to. And these occur as triplicities for every 3 signs. So fire signs begin the zodiac. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Next up we have earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Air signs come next, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then finally we have the water signs, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The modalities are just a different grouping of the signs, and this is depending on their order in the zodiac. Each season of the year features 3 modalities, and the modalities are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. An easy way to remember this is just the beginning, middle, or end of the season. So the beginning of the season would be the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs represent fresh starts, initiations, etc., etc. And these signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, aka when the solstices and equinoxes happen in each season. Next up, the middle of the season, which is when you're really feeling like the brunt of the weather, the brunt of the season. So they're known for their stubbornness and reluctance to change. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The end of the season, which is, the transitional time of each season, represents the mutable signs. The mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Now let's get into the planets. Each planet in our solar system represents different aspects that make up a person's full personality in your birth chart. Now, depending on their location in the sky is what characteristics the planet is going to take on. For the person, every planet in our birth chart is important in its own way. I'm going to take it back to elementary school real quick, and let's talk about the order of the planets. And we're going to talk about how each planet, depending on the position, not only in your chart, but in the sky, how it affects you. Now, when it comes to astrology, the planets are broken up between personal planets and generational planets. Personal planets include the sun, moon. Before someone in the comments said, but they said it's not planets. Cállate. You're in this video to learn, okay? They're not planets, but they're celestial bodies, and we're just gonna put them all in the same category, okay? Thank you. The sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars are considered personal planets. Now, these are planets that just have quicker revolution periods. They range from 28 days to about a year and a half. And with these shorter revolution periods, they move from sign to sign much quicker than planets that are further away from the sun. Then we have generational planets, and then the generational planets are just beyond the asteroid belt, so it begins with Jupiter and then ends in Pluto. And in astrology, Pluto is still a planet, okay? RIP to a real one. These planets represent entire generations of people because, like I said, they're existing in certain times for prolonged periods of time because their revolution periods around the sun are much longer. Honestly, when it comes to a generational planet, now the positioning in the chart is more important than the sign most times. Let's go into what each planet represents in the chart. We have the sun, which represents the ego, creativity, self-esteem, your joy, your talents, your generosity. Then we have the moon, which is representative of your native behavior, who you are at your most vulnerable. The things you get defensive about, your emotions, your imagination, that's all the things that the moon rules over. Next up, we have Mercury, which is the ruler of communication, both physical and mental. It's also a very inventive planet, and it's also the planet of dreams. Then you have the planet Venus, which is the planet of love, relationships, beauty, admiration, and pleasure. For the personal planets, we have Mr. Mars, which is the planet of passion, action, your driving force, what you're fighting for, your energy, and your fears. For the generational planets, the first one we have Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, luck, worship, protection. It's the planet of blessings, optimism. We love Jupiter in this household. Next up, we have Saturn. Now, Saturn is the planet of limits because at one point it was the limit of the solar system before modern technology, of course. Shout out to telescopes and all that. But no, Saturn is the planet of restriction, caution, karma, perseverance. Saturn don't play, okay? If you know, you know. Saturn don't play. Next up, we have Uranus, which is the planet of rebellion, just being unconventional, ambiguity. Uranus is a rule breaker, okay? And then we have Neptune, which is the planet of unknown depths, mystery, being artistic, idealistic. It's a shape-shifting planet. And then finally, we have my big dog Pluto, period. Shout out to Pluto. You're not a dwarf planet in my heart. Pluto is the planet of power, the unconscious, transformation, and the planet of the unknown. There's also different asteroids and nodes in your natal chart that I think is important for you to understand as a form of understanding yourself further. Now, there's thousands of asteroids in our solar system, and you can go ahead and research them and utilize different software to understand where those are positioned in your chart. But the main ones that beginners should be familiar with are Chiron, and I also think the North and South Node are important as well. Chiron is the wounded healer and the master teacher. So like things that were likely traumatic for you, that's what, Chiron kind of represents. And then we have the North Node, which is your destiny, what you should be headed towards in this lifetime. And then the South Node, which is the exact opposite position, which is your past life and some of the things that may feel like second nature, but you should be moving in the opposite direction in this lifetime. Let's talk about the houses. This just mean the different areas of life that make up your life's journey. This is very specific from person to person, and it's really important for you to get a further understanding of astrology with the houses. I think that at the absolute most basic, people understand, their sun. If you're a little step up, sun, moon, rising, but it's that rising it's gonna take it there. It's gonna take it there. Okay? So, the first house, also known as the Ascendant or your rising sign, is dependent on your birth time, and it changes every 2 hours, which is why that accurate birth time is extremely imperative for you to understand your chart. There's plenty of different house systems, but the most common ones used in Western astrology would be Placidus and Whole House, a chart of all of the different houses in a birth chart. Each house just represents different areas of life. So for example, you have the first house, which is your physical appearance, perspective during this life's journey. And some people say it's your first impression, but me personally, I kind of really like the perspective outlook of things. It's really just the first stepping stone of how everything else is going to manifest in the rest of your chart. Let's end this out by talking about aspects. Now, remember when I told y'all earlier that astrology is extremely mathematical? All an aspect is the relationship between 2 points in your chart and how many degrees of separation are in between the two, and how those 2 planets interact based on their placement in your chart. The aspects, you have aspects that are positive aspects, which are, planets helping each other out, working in tandem, and kind of just the energy is playing off of each other in a way that is super easy breezy, helping each other out. And then you have the aspects that are kind of a little bit more difficult to deal with, but these are the lessons you're going to learn in this lifetime, or at least attempt to learn in this lifetime. Now, the different type of aspects that we'll be focusing on in this video particularly are conjunctions, trines, sextiles. We also have squares, oppositions, right? A conjunction is 0 degrees, and a conjunction just means that 2 of the points in your chart are in the same sign. Simple, easy peasy. A conjunction just means that these are very concentrated energies in your chart, and the energies tend to just, sometimes overlap one another because it's the same characteristics as being shown, y'all. We have a sextile. A sextile is 60 degrees, and this just means that signs are 2 signs away from one another. These are complementary energies, and they be chilling. Sextiles are cool. Now, a square means they're 3 signs apart, and a square is 90 degrees. Squares, well, they don't really like each other so much. But when you have a square in your chart, that just means it's something for you to work a little bit more towards. A more tense energy in your chart. Trines, we love a trine. Trines feel natural, they feel innate. There's something that truly just flows in energy. Now, when you have a trine, that means it's gonna exist in the same element. So a Cancer and a Scorpio placement, a Leo and an Aries placement, a Taurus and a Capricorn placement. Those are all things that are trying one another. And then finally, we have oppositions. Oppositions are exactly that. They exist on opposite ends of the plane. So your sister sign, which is just the opposite sign of whatever placement it is that you're speaking about, that's all an opposition is. Now, oppositions be a little tough, but it's like yin and yang. You guys kind of need both. But it's a matter of balancing those energies. That's the real lesson that you need to learn in this lifetime. Now, when it comes to using astrology to level up your life, I think the main thing that is a motivating force for you to learn about astrology is the fact that nobody's gonna know you better than you know yourself. I don't think that astrology should be used as a playbook, but instead a blueprint. It's something that gives you kind of just, the bare bones of what is presented to you in this lifetime, and utilizing astrology to your benefit is something that you can use to really just power whatever it is that you're trying to go for. I can do an entire video basically telling you how to use the different placements in your chart to level up, give you more information on each sign, how it interacts with each planet. We can do a whole series on this if you guys desire. Leave a comment below if that's what you guys want. But when it comes to fully understanding yourself, it's just like you're literally limitless at that point. You can use to further understand yourself and no longer hold shame for some of the things that society or, just different people in your circle, whatever it is, have shamed you for. Having that further understanding of, okay, maybe I'm having a little bit more trouble with my career because I have Saturn in the 6th house or the 10th house. Or maybe things are moving a little bit slower for me because I have this placement here. X, Y, and Z. About your learning styles and how you communicate best can also assist in your day-to-day life at that point. The world is quite literally your oyster once you are understanding astrology and how it can be used to your benefit. When it comes to improving your astrology knowledge, reading is the number one thing that I can tell you to do. I'll have a list of some of my favorite resources below, and I'll maybe pop some stuff on the screen too, just so you guys have some different resources. Those super obscure blogs that have 2000s font and crazy graphics, honestly, you'll probably learn way more than you think. Okay? Also, utilizing, the classics. Also, the way that I really truly did learn the most about astrology is, of course, through my day-to-day life, interacting with people, but also learning about Greek, Roman, just ancient civilizations and reading up on some of their mythology. That's where all of this is stemmed from. So of course, reading about it is what's going to help you understand why the different themes of the planets are even set in stone in the first place. So for example, if you want to learn more about Jupiter, read up on Zeus. You want to learn more about Venus, read about Venus. Aphrodite. Come on, guys. It's right there. Also, memes. Memes are an amazing way to just get astrology in your head and understanding the different archetypes of each sign, each planet, whatever, in a super casual way. And you just absorb the information. It's stunning. Okay. Good resources to use. Astroseek.com, stunning. Astro.com, Astrodienst, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's really good. Good old Cafe Astrology. Now, would I calculate my chart there? No. But to learn about different information, why, learning about different planets, the aspects, different points in your chart, and things like that. Stunning, stunning, stunning resource. We love Cafe Astrology in this household for that reason. Apps like Chani. We're gonna say Chani. Chani's a really good app. It has a free and a paid version, but I think the free version is still really good for just learning basic things about yourself. Astro Future. Girl, me and Astro Future go together real bad. Time passages, real bad. There's plenty of different resources that you can use to your advantage when it comes to learning about astrology. Of course, there's going to be more videos that I will be featuring on my page to go into further deep dives, but if you're itching and you really want to learn about it, those are some really good sources to start with. I'll also put on the screen some of my favorite astrology creators on different platforms that I think have reliable information and come up with just great ways for astrology lovers from beginner to advanced to interact with each other and really, have a key. Hello. If you really are serious about this, the Astrology Podcast by Brennan, that man, oh, love him. I love him so much. He is so into it, and he brings on some of the most amazing minds. I don't even like podcasts like that, but I'll sit and I'll watch all of the entire podcast, pen and paper in hand. Okay? You'll learn about so many different facets of astrology that I wouldn't have even thought of had I not dove deeper into his channel. Amazing. You can also just go to your local Barnes & Nobles, your local library, whatever it is, and just read up on astrology books. Now, you gotta take things with an air of caution there, because sometimes things are just really like pop culture focused, as opposed to like really delving into the source material, and it kind of just regurgitates the same like basic information over and over again. But that's just something you got to take with a grain of salt, and at the end of the day, a resource is a resource. So as long as you're, you know, putting in the work, the proper resources will just find you in that way. Practice with your friends, practice with your family, do whatever it is that you need to do to absorb the information. But I think the most important thing to do is start off by just opening up a birth chart and just looking at it and reading it and highlighting and doing whatever study techniques you got to learn about astrology. I wanted to do this video as a stepping stone on just the elements of a birth chart. I will be doing a video on how to read a birth chart. I'll be doing breakdowns of each planet, and I'm also going to do how you can use your birth chart to level up your life. I'm still working on the details of that one. It's a piece that I've been working on honestly for like, it's been a couple years now. I came up with the idea I think 3 years ago, but now with the increased knowledge that I have now, I kind of want to just get to the details a little bit before I share that with you guys. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for engaging. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't taken the time to do so, please like and comment below not only what you thought about this video, but anything fun. Like, let's talk to each other, guys. I want to be friends. Let's be friends. So let's go ahead, let's take a little chat in the comments. You can tell me maybe your favorite thing that you learned in this video, or if you learned something new. Go ahead, get to typing, sister girl. And yeah, I am so happy to be back, and I've been working on not only this video for a minute, but a lot of other things that I've got. The clip loaded, y'all. The clip is loaded. I'm ready to go. Are you ready is the question, baby. Buckle up. Okay? I really hope that y'all learned something new, and I hope that this video gives you the fuel to start going out and learning more about yourself. I think that learning about yourself, literally nobody can do anything to stop you at that point. So let's go ahead, we can work together. I have so many more astrology videos planned for you guys, so much more spiritual content ready for you guys. Basically all things Venus, babes. So I will be adding some other content, some beauty, lifestyle, all that stuff. So just stay tuned. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that button. What are we waiting for? Do you not want to be friends? But yeah, I'm just so excited. You guys don't understand how much this means to me. I'm gonna get emotional, but whatever. Either way, love you guys. So I'll see y'all later. I will see you on Venus Day. And until next time.